Hello my fiery friends, the Infernoman here with the Midweek Magic event deck, and after our frustrating losses in the Decathlon event, I wanted to take a quick little breather, and I guess you could say I'm doing a detour of a detour, because we weren't actually even planning on doing a video on this, but you know what, I've wanted to throw it together and just have a little fun. So thankfully, they're doing for this week, it looks like, Historic Artisan, which is actually my favorite format right now in Arena, so I really do enjoy this. I kind of wish it was its own format, but I'll take what I can get. So let's go ahead, and as you can see already, we kind of see from the little corner right here, we're looking at basically playing a deck that was from our past, and we're going to freshen it up for 2023. Mono blue tempo in its purest form here, I think is going to be the best option for us to win our 3 victories and get through the event. So most of the deck, if you haven't seen it already, is very much based upon just get your 1 or 2 drops out early, then protect them with a bunch of stuff. Your basic things that you want to throw out ideally is going to be a Delver of Secrets, throw on that a Curious Obsession to start getting damage in, and also drawing cards, so that way you will always have mana up, you will always have a counter spell ready to go to stop your opponent from doing their game plan. I'm not going to lie, this deck is pretty miserable when it does get going, and most opponents will mostly just give up on the spot. So just keep that in mind if you're that kind of person that likes to play dirty like that. This is definitely the deck for you. And even though we don't have any rares or mythics because this is an artisan event, don't underestimate this deck. It is actually very powerful. You can actually even play this in regular matches on Arena. So just keep that in mind. But otherwise, real quick, just go over into the game plan. In the 1-drop slot, besides that Curious Obsession, which helps us draw cards, it also gives your creature +1/+1. Don't forget, of course, you have to attack with a creature, or else you will have to sacrifice the Curious Obsession. Delver of Secrets is pretty self-explanatory. As long as you can then reveal an instant or sorcery on your upkeep, you can flip this into a 3/2 flyer, which does a lot of damage very early in the game. Siren Stormtamer also provides us a lot of abilities on it. Besides being a pirate and a wizard, it also has flying, which will also cheapen the cost of Lofty Denial, cheapens the cost of Lookout's Dispersal to make them a lot more powerful against our opponent. Spectral Sailor has flash. We also can use it to draw a card, very sweet in the mid game. UC a guard approach is going to be helpful to either protect one of our creatures, giving it hexproof to ensure we get through that final point of damage, or also if they have a really annoying blocker, we can tap it before they declare a blocker, or maybe even at the end of their turn to get it out of the way. In the 2-drop slot, Brineborn Cutthroat will build itself up as long as we keep casting spells on our opponent's turn, which for a tempo deck is what you ideally want to do. Lofty Denial is one of our main counter spells. You have to, of course, maximize its ability by having a flyer out, because if you don't, your opponent can then still pay the 1 and get rid of the counter spell. So keep that in mind if you do use this. Seek New Knowledge is a brand new card, and yes, it is an alchemy card, but it actually does fix one problem we have with the deck. If, say, for example, you can't get Curious Obsession off, Seek New Knowledge at least can help us dig through our deck. It does trigger off Brineborn Cutthroat, and help us, for example, maybe put back an extra island that we don't need. Divide by 0 is going to be our tempo play where we bounce a spell that maybe our opponent is casting that's on the stack, put it back into their hand, and then we can then dig through our sideboard to get one of our lesson spells. Lookout's Dispersal will cost 3 mana, but initially it'll cost 2 mana as long as we control a pirate. And we do have Brineborn Cutthroat, and we do have Siren Stormtamer and Spectral Sailor, so this should be an easy 2 mana counterspell. And then finally, also from Dominaria United, Tolarian Terror. 3 copies of this, and even though it's a 7 mana initially, it costs 1 less for each instant or sorcery card in our graveyard, and also has its own built-in protection with Ward 2. Now, sadly, we don't have a way of making it fly. We don't have really a way of kind of just ensuring we can guarantee that damage, except we use UC a guard approach. But usually when this threat comes out, it's already mostly going to be the end of the game, so this should hopefully be your closer if you can't already out-tempo your opponent. Your islands, you only have 19, that's all you need, and a single copy of Mystic Sanctuary. This is actually a pretty powerful card. However, be careful when you use it, because if you time this incorrectly with maybe, say, Tolarian Terror, you might end up kind of screwing yourself over. So just keep that in mind if you do want to use the card. Finally, again, this is a best of 1 event, but because we are using Divide by 0, we do have a sideboard just at least for that. So we have Mercurial Transformation, Environmental Science for some land ramp, Expanded Anatomy to pump one of our creatures and finish off our opponent, Introduction to Prophecy if you're really struggling to try to draw cards. Elemental Summoning and Fractal Summoning are going to be your extra token creatures that we can build up our board and kind of make sure we have some blockers. And Introduction to Annihilation if we just have to deal with something that just can't be dealt with any of our counter spells or bounce spells. If you do want to play this in best of 3s, you can see right here, I added on a little bit more for you. So you have a single copy of Spell Pierce, 2 more copies of UC a guard approach for tempo plays. If you're playing against a lot of red or green, Ether Gust. If you're playing against a lot of blue, Mystical Dispute. And Bayeen Veil is going to be here as not necessarily a tap land, but consider it more as a tempo play again against go wide decks like White Weenies, for example. But before we continue, if you like any of the content that I do, all I ask for you is please give a like on this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the deck techs, booster pack openings, gameplay, and so much more. Oh, and after we're done with our matches, I'll have some final thoughts on our deck at the end of the video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and fire up the deck that we've just gone over and get started. Alright, and here we go, everybody. We are playing in the Midweek Magic event deck, and we're playing our mono blue tempo. And I really would like us to get another island, so let's go ahead and just mulligan this. And okay, this is actually fine. 2 islands, we can hopefully flip Delver. We'll keep 1 Siren Storm Tamer, and the rest can stay in our hand. So, Storm Tamer, go back. Island. Delver. Alright, opponent. Can you deal with a turn 1 Delver? They got black. Oh, they got cut down. Well, that's annoying, but that's okay. It was going to flip into a Spectral Sailor anyway. So, here's again what we're trying to do. If we can get maybe, say, Brineborn Cutthroat down on their turn, they gain life. Brineborn Cutthroat. Do they have anything? I'm pretty sure they might have more of those. Do they? Oh, they don't. Okay. So, we're in the clear. We're going to hold our 2 islands up because we do have some plays. And I'm hoping we can get to that 3rd land. Cycle of Baronmore. They draw a card. Opponent. Another island. Spectral Sailor coming in. Pump in the Brineborn. Do they have removal here? Counter target creature spell. That's fine. That's actually okay. We're just trying to, again, get as much pump on this sucker as possible. Ooh, that's awkward. Okay, that's fine. Put down Siren Storm Tamer. Down to 16. Well, hopefully that means we can bounce with Divide by 0 soon. Another island. They pass. Ooh, here we go. Curious Obsession. But I want us to have... No, we're going to wait. I want to make sure we have protection for this by either bouncing or have a counterspell ready. Eldest Reborn. Okay. We're going to bounce that back. Back to your hand, opponent. And let's see, what do we get? Yeah, we'll take that. Okay, there's our other island. So, Curious Obsession. Go swinging. We're down to 6. Draw a card. There we go. Okay, now we're good. Alright, now we're okay, everybody. Come on, play that again. I dare you, opponent. Flarian Terror. That's fine. We can counterspell that. Is that game? Is that game, opponent? And there we go. There you go, guys. That's why I said mono blue tempo for you. Once it gets going, it can't be stopped. And here we go, my fiery friends. We are playing our mono blue tempo deck in the Midweek Magic Historic Artisan event. So let's see. Only 1 island, but we do have Curious Obsession. We do have Spectral Sailor, so I'm going to keep this. I know it's a little risky, but you gotta trust me. Again, tempo. Okay, so they do have a tap land, so that actually gives us an easy in for Spectral Sailor. Delver of Secrets. Okay, so this is where it gets dicey, but we're gonna try. Curious Obsession. Go swinging. They're down to 19, we draw a card. Come on, there we go. Alright, here we go. We're gonna put down Delver of Secrets now. So if they have removal, if we can flip Delver, we have another Curious Obsession waiting in the wings. If our opponent has no answer, okay, Patchwork Automation, that's fine. Just an island, that's okay. So, with this, let's... Actually, we're going to wait. Hold on, how do we do this? How do we do this? We're actually going to... That has Ward 2 also. Oh, well, never mind. Okay, our opponent was like, I don't want to wait. And here we go, everybody. The Midweek Magic event deck, where we are playing in the Historic Artisan event, and we are playing mono blue tempo. So, yeah, I kind of like this hand. I'm going to keep this. So we could flip Delver of Secrets early. Then we are going to be in really good shape here. Opponents. All right. Mountain. Javelin. Let that go. Come on, flip Delver. No, did not flip. That's fine. That's fine. Go swinging here. Oh, how I'd love for this to flip. Phoenix chick. Caw-caw! Javeliner number 2. Okay, opponent is being very hasty right now. Here I thought we were the people that just can't... And here I thought I was the person that can't wait. Still no flip. That's annoying. But we do have now Lookout Dispersal ready. So here's hoping we can just at least maybe start countering our opponent's stuff here. Hall Monitor too.
Hall Monitor!
Let's counter that. We counter the Hall Monitor. We're trying to just get some counter spell. Okay, Cavalcade. Okay, it's a Cavalcade deck. Well, that's fine. Ouchies. We flip? Yes, we do. There we go. All right. Now we're in good shape. We swing. They're down to 15. We're down to 10, though. Monastery Swift Spear. Big swing. Ouchies. Block. Phoenix Chick. Phoenix Chick goes bye-bye. Chandra's Pyroling, which we will counterspell. You see a guard approach. Let's see. Oh, actually we lose here. Never mind. Capacitor. Well, we can do you see the guard approach, so tap target creature. Okay, swing. Go to 1. Do they have a burn spell to finish us? I'll bring in Spectre Sailor. Do they have a burn spell here? Unholy. Okay, that's fine. Wow, we can't get through. Okay, you know what? I'll still block it anyway. They'll trigger off, which is fine. That's okay, we'll take this loss. I ain't even mad. We just couldn't get our tempo going. But you can see right here where the weakness of the deck is. If you can't get your tempo plays out, then you're gonna lose. That's okay. They're thinking. There we go. Yep, that's the safe way out. That's okay. We can take a loss. That's okay. This is a fun event. Okay, everybody, here we go. We are playing a mono blue tempo deck for the Midweek Magic Historic Artisan event. And this is... Alright, well, we're going to keep it, and we'll see if we can make this work. Delver Darn 1. We have another Delver waiting in the wings, so to speak. Alright, found it. Tap land. Flip? No. We are just unlucky with flips today. I can't believe that. Alright, well, Siren Storm Tamer can protect the Delver if we have to. Plains. Rapine. The Informant. Now again, if we can flip this, then we're fantastic. There we go. And it's a counterspell too, so we're in really good shape now. Alright, now basically the game plan finally falls into place. We just counterspell everything until we get to where we want to be. Alright, Lofty Denial. Get that off the field. Opponent attacking? Yes, they are. Down to 17. Another Lookout Dispersal, which is nice. Put down Delver number 2. And you still have mana up, of course, for the rest of your counter spells. If they don't do anything, we can also seek new knowledge to hopefully dig to something else we may need. But for now, we definitely need the counter spells, so we're going to keep those. Night Clubber? Nope. Sorry. Let's see if our opponent gets salty at some point. We flip? No, we don't. It's okay. We keep attacking, because our opponent, I don't think, is going to have any way of stopping us now. But that's, again, how you want to play the deck. This is exactly what you want to do. You counter what they have. It frustrates people, makes them just not want to play. Do they attack? Nope. Spectral Sailor comes in. Flip. Nope. Still do not, but that's okay. This is cheap now. Down to 4. If they have removal here, that's going to suck, but it's not the end of the world for us. We have a Tolarian Terror ready to go. We just need another land. Okay, Ravenous Chupacabra. Going to target, I'm guessing, the Insectile Aberration. But fortunately, Siren Storm Tamer counters that, so that ability does not do anything. And they give up. So there you go, everybody. There. That felt so good. Oh, man. when you just counterspell your opponent, I'm not going to lie. I hate being that person, but I felt like that person today. If you are interested in playing this in the historic format, I'm just going to simply say right now, the deck's overall core is pretty good as is. There might be some tweaks, as you kind of saw. We did have some moments where we awkwardly had Mystic Sanctuary a little too early in the game. We did have some moments where we actually weren't able to flip Delver, so maybe we might want to go a little bit more spell heavy. I would say, if I had to look at this again, maybe down to only 2 Tolarian Terrors. Maybe we go up a Brineborn Cutthroat to ensure that Lookout's Dispersal will always trigger off for its 2 mana. I don't know if maybe Seek New Knowledge wasn't the best idea, but the sweetest thing about this deck is you actually don't even really need to go into any Rares or Mythics to make this better. If you wanted to invest in that, you mostly want to just look at then mono blue spirits, and that would be more likely done for Explorer. But of course you can play Explorer cards in Historic, that's not a problem. But what I'm basically saying is, if you are interested in playing in the Historic format, and again you don't want to deal with having to spend a lot of Rares and Mythics, I actually would say you probably could play this for a little while just to get your dailies in, complete your challenges, and if you do want to save up for it, you can actually build up a decent amount of stuff if you just stick to the core of what this deck is trying to do. And if you are a fan of tempo decks like this, I would say look at the Explorer format and look at mono blue spirits, because that's, again, the top end of what this deck was trying to do. But otherwise, aside from that, I hope you enjoyed the footage. And again, if you do want to give this a try, I will leave a link below for that. And I'm sure if you do want to play this in whether Midweek Magic, or if you do actually want to take it into the historic format, I assure you, you will not be disappointed. That's all I have for you today. Thanks again for watching, everyone. And just remember that no matter what you do play in the game of life, always be sure to burn bright. Later.